The third and final match of the Club World Cup group stage is right around the corner. And off the back of Xabi Alonso's first win as Real Madrid's manager, the expectation is that we go out there and dominate in our next game. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm taking this tournament very serious. The Club World Cup is a major trophy, and I can't think of a better way for the Xabi Alonso era to get started. And a lot of people are doubting us. A lot of people are trolling and talking shit about Real Madrid. We have one bad season, and look at how quickly people forget what we are capable of doing. I'm telling you right now, the best way to shut these haters up is to win this tournament. Now, the knockout rounds are going to get started soon, but we can't even think about that. We got to stay focused on the group because we have a huge match on Thursday where Real Madrid will be taking on Salzburg. And this is a must-win game. We haven't qualified for the next part of this tournament. We drew against Al Hilal, and yes, we did beat Pachuca, but it's not guaranteed that we make the knockout rounds of this tournament. We cannot get grouped. That would be a disaster. That would be a humiliation. That would be an embarrassment. I think we are going to cook Salzburg because we have to. And we're starting to see the little glimpses of Xabi ball. And I'm excited for this match. And it's not the first time that we would have played RB Salzburg this season. Let's not forget, we slapped them up 5-1. And this is after, right? Mind you, last season, we were shit. We beat them with the power of friendship, the power of brotherhood, individual brilliance, no tactics, just vibes. We were trash last season, and RB Salzburg made us look like the most dominant team in the world. Rodrygo absolutely cooked in this game. The goals that he scored, the link up between him and Jude Bellingham for that second goal, phenomenal. Mbappe got a goal. Vinicius was cooking as well. We actually looked like a team during this game. A lot of the matches last season, we just looked like a collective of 11 players that never seen each other. It was like no chemistry. We were struggling. We couldn't build up a style of play. And this is why Carlo Ancelotti got sacked. So now that we have a manager that plays a good brand of football and that's trying to instill a system, I expect us to do something very similar to what we did to them earlier this season. I want another 5-goal performance. Salzburg got to hold some smoke. I'm not going to lie. But look, you guys know what we do on these match previews. We're going to talk about both teams. And then at the end, I will be building the starting 11 that I think Xabi Alonso will use. So get in that comment section. Let me know what you're saying about this match. And what are your predictions just for this tournament in general? Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those post notifications. Let's get into it. And I want to start off with Real Madrid. So we're in Group H, and we're currently sitting top of the group. But we're tied on points with Salzburg, who we'll talk about in a few minutes. Now, when you look at the teams that are involved, Real Madrid are obviously expected to go through, but so is Al Hilal. And Salzburg actually managed to get a draw against them. And that to me is a very surprising result. Like Al Hilal, yeah, they got a draw against us and they got a draw against Salzburg and they haven't lost yet. But there's a possibility that they don't go through. And even though we're sitting top of the group at the moment, there's a possibility that we don't go through either. If we lose this game, and if Al Hilal beat Pachuca, we could be cooked. Like, let's not act like it's a foregone conclusion. Now, I'm very confident, and I think that we're going to put belt to ass against Salzburg, but I just want to kind of paint this picture for you. Teams have already qualified for the next round. We have not. If we would have beaten Al Hilal in our first match, then yes, we would have qualified with the 6 out of 9 points. But the fact that we drew, it's a must-win game. like I say every single time. Now, the last game that we played, 3-1 victory over Pachuca, where we went down to 10 men, right? Raul Asencio was playing against us. He gets sent off in like the 5th minute, and we still managed to score 3 goals. I think there's a lot of things that we can take away from this performance that were positive. I think we did look shaky. Thibaut Courtois, man of the match performance, had to make about 10 saves this game, was on smoke. But the build-up for the goals that we scored, oh my days, we were cooking, right? I think Dean Housen, another very good performance for us. Gonzalo Garcia getting involved. Trent, you got Arda Güler cooked. Valverde scored, and Jude Bellingham scored as well. It was a shaky performance just in terms of having to hold on, because in the opening like 30 minutes of this game, the high line, Pachuca were exposing that. Like Rondon was making some very good runs into the box, and we got caught out. And then after we got that water break, then we started to look better. We grew more into the match. Xabi Alonso was going to have to figure out why the hell we start matches so slow, right? And he's also going to have to figure out that high line, because I'm not trying to see that against Salzburg, right? Salzburg, they're a decent team. They've done well in the group stage so far, and we don't need any surprises. Now, obviously, Xabi Alonso has only managed us for 2 games. He hasn't had a preseason, so he's going to have to adjust on the fly. And there's not much room for error. But I think we're going to see our best game of the Xabi Alonso era so far in our next match against Salzburg. But yeah, 3-1, decent win over Pachuca. They're not that good, so we're not going to go crazy about it. But it was a very important game. I want to know what you guys are saying about Real Madrid. Do you think that Xabi Alonso should change up his tactics in terms of that high line? Like, what do you think the manager needs to do against Salzburg? If any of you guys have even watched their games to see how they look. Now, speaking of the Ops, they're sitting second in the table, and they're in a very tricky predicament here, because the odds of them going through are very slim, right? They have to beat Real Madrid, and then if they do that, they will be in the next round. But unfortunately for them, they're going against, in my opinion, the best team in the world. Now, they did well against Pachuca, who they beat 2-1, and then they got a 0-0 draw against Al Hilal, which is very surprising. I think Salzburg are having a very good tournament. Now, even if they lose to us, there is a possibility that they can still qualify for the next round, and that's if Al Hilal draw again, because then they'll still have more points than them. Now, the odds of Al Hilal not beating Pachuca are very slim, right? Al Hilal have a good team. They spend a lot of money, right? Their midfield's very solid. They got a lot of attacking talent, and they have Inzaghi, right? Pachuca are trash. Pachuca are just here for vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were trash last season, and if there was a relegation system in Mexico, Pachuca would be getting sent down. So, look, let's see how their match goes. But at the end of the day, I don't really care who advances with us. As long as we take advantage and beat them, and then we qualify, the rest of these guys can fight for second place. But, like I said, we got to give Salzburg a lot of credit. And, look, they know how... not necessarily know how we want to play, but they know our personnel, because it's pretty much the same team that they went against in the Champions League, except we added Dean Housen, and now we also have Trent, but a majority of the 11 they've played against. Same thing we can say for them. So we are a bit familiar with this team. But let me know what you guys are saying about Salzburg, if you guys have watched them throughout this tournament, because I have not. I'm going to just be real. I've not watched one game of theirs so far, but they have impressed me with the results. Now, I do want to give you guys a quick update. It seemed like Mbappe was going to be back for this match, but it turns out he's not going to be available for this game. I don't know what the hell is going on. My man has got the meanest sickness, because he's not been available at all in these group stages, and hopefully he's going to be available for the knockouts, but I think we'll be just fine, right? I don't think that we need Mbappe to beat a Salzburg. And the way that Gonzalo Garcia is playing, we should still be able to cook and attack. But yeah, man, no Mbappe. That's the only update that I have concerning any players that may or may not be available. Now, looking at the predicted 11, right? Let's just get into my favorite part of every single match preview, and that is building the 11 that I think Xabi Alonso is going to put out there. Now, I believe he's going to stick with the back four, right? I don't think he's going to do a back three. Seems like he prefers the back four with the personnel that we have. And I think it's going to be a 4-3-3 right here. Now, I think it'll be Courtois in goal. And the thing is, I actually would prefer to see Lunin, but because of what's on the line for this game, I feel like Courtois is going to go out there and start again. I mean, like, Lunin should be able to start against RB Salzburg, but I don't think Xabi Alonso is going to want to take any chances, I'm going to be honest. So, yeah, I think Courtois starts. Obviously, we're going to go Trent again. Then I'm going Rodrygo. I think Raul Asencio is done. I don't see him starting another game in this tournament unless there's injuries. Twice now, this guy has made costly mistakes in back-to-back games. So, yeah, Rodrygo is fit. I expect Rodrygo to be the right-sided center back. And even though I'm not one of those people that are going to overreact, I'm not saying that Asencio needs to be sold. I'm not saying that he's trash. What I'm saying is that he's not given Xabi Alonso any reason to trust him based off what we've seen in the last two games. A red card against Pachuca and then gives up a penalty against Al Hilal. Yeah, he's not had a good tournament so far. So I think he's going to be holding bench. Next to Rodrygo, I'm going to go Dean Howson. For me, this guy is our best defender right now. He's an absolute baller. What a revelation he's been. I mean, this guy is arguably the best young defender in the world. He's so good on the ball. His passing is a joke. 1v1, he's a monster defensively. You can't get past him. He's an aerial threat from set pieces as well. The guy can carry the ball into the midfield. There's nothing about Howson's game that I can criticize. My man has no weaknesses, and he's going to only get better. Absolute baller. Has been one of the stars of the team so far. At left back, I think it'll be Fran Garcia again, who is actually having a pretty decent tournament so far, right? And I think Fran Garcia is definitely a profile that Xabi Alonso likes for his fullbacks because of how good he goes forward. Now, in the midfield, I think it's going to be Jude, Tchouaméni, and I believe Valverde again. Now, on the left, I'm going Vinicius, obviously. At striker, I don't know if Gonzalo Garcia's added yet. Hold on. Gonzalo Garcia is not available, but I think he needs to start again. Gonzalo Garcia has been phenomenal with his opportunities. Mbappe's been sick. Endrick is injured. And in the first two games, Gonzalo Garcia has been one of our best players. Like, that assist that he got for Arda Güler in the Pachuca match, Endrick would have shot that. You see Gonzalo Garcia dropping a little bit deep. The guy is playing like a Benzema kind of role, and he looks super comfortable on the ball. I actually think that Gonzalo Garcia is playing so well that Real Madrid don't need to go sign a striker. After the tournament ends, I think we need to give Gonzalo Garcia an opportunity as that Joselu profile off the bench. Somebody that can give us something different, right? Somebody that can be brought onto matches and change the game. He has been very good. And I love that Xabi Alonso is rewarding him by starting him and giving him a lot of minutes. So yeah, Gonzalo Garcia in the 9 for me, but he's not available on lineup builder, so I can't actually put him in there. And then on the right, I think Arda Güler has to start. I know some people are going to say, what about Rodrygo? I'm going to be honest. I think Rodrygo should play this game, and I'm still not sure why he didn't play in the last match. But Rodrygo, in my opinion, more than likely, he's leaving Real Madrid this summer. If I had to make a wild guess, I think Arda Güler, it's time that he becomes a starter, right? The guy's an absolute baller. You saw his cameos so far in this tournament have been very good. Got a goal against Pachuca. And what I like that Xabi Alonso did in that last game was he dropped Arda Güler into the midfield, and then he advanced Valverde a little higher up the pitch. And I think something like that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, here's the starting 11 that I think Xabi Alonso will play. It's a must-win game. We cannot go out there and drop points because we're still trying to qualify for the next round. We cannot afford, right? It'd be super embarrassing if we got grouped. that would be, I'm gonna be real. Yo, people might be saying Xabi out if that happens, but I believe in this manager. So I want to know what you guys are saying. Get in that comment section, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and don't forget to join the Discord. The link is pinned down below. Holla Madrid!